10 specific recreational vehicle models are experiencing catastrophic depreciation collapse in 2026, and if you own one of them, your equity is evaporating faster than the industry predicted. We are not talking about normal depreciation. We are talking about units losing 60 to 70% of their value in 3 years because of documented structural failures, class action lawsuits, and recall disasters that dealerships refuse to acknowledge. The manufacturers know which models are ticking time bombs. The dealers know which trade-ins they cannot resell. This investigation exposes the 10 models that are financially radioactive in 2026 and shows you how to verify if you are sitting on one of these disasters before it destroys your net worth. The value collapse is driven by 3 converging factors the industry desperately wants hidden. The factor 1 is the recall epidemic. Between 2023 and 2025, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration opened investigations into over 40 specific recreational vehicle models for frame failures, wheel separation, and fire hazards. When a model gets recalled, the resale market treats it like toxic waste. Dealers will not accept them as trade-ins. Private buyers demand 40 to 50% discounts. Banks refuse to finance them. Your $70,000 trailer becomes a $25,000 liability overnight. Factor 2 is the delamination wave. Between 2020 and 2023, manufacturers accelerated production to meet pandemic demand. They cut quality control to zero and shipped units with improperly bonded walls. Those units are now 3 to 5 years old, which is when delamination becomes visible. The fiberglass skin separates from the wood substrate and bubbles form on the exterior walls. Once delamination starts, it spreads like cancer. The wall loses structural integrity. Water gets inside and rots the frame. Entire model lines from major manufacturers are experiencing delamination rates above 30%, which means nearly 1 in 3 units from those years is a total loss. Factor 3 is the frame flex epidemic in fifth wheels. Starting in 2021, manufacturers increased the length of fifth wheel toy haulers to 42 and 45 feet, but did not increase frame strength. They kept using the same gauge steel designed for 35-foot trailers. The result is catastrophic frame flex, where the front cap separates from the sidewalls under towing stress. You can see it in the cracks forming around windows and doors. On this is a structural failure that makes the unit dangerous to tow and impossible to sell. Number 1 on the worthless list is the 2020 to 2023 Keystone Montana fifth wheel. This model suffers from all 3 problems simultaneously: delamination, frame flex, and a recall for defective axles. Dealers are refusing Montana trade-ins because the units cannot pass inspection. Private party sales are down 65% year over year. If you paid $85,000 for a 2022 Montana, the current market value is $28,000 to $35,000. You lost $50,000 in 4 years. The delamination issue is concentrated in the front cap and slide-out walls. Keystone used a cheap water-based adhesive during the pandemic supply chain crisis. That glue dissolves when moisture gets behind the skin. Owners are reporting bubbles forming on brand new units with less than 5,000 miles. So Keystone denies 80% of delamination claims by arguing the owner did not properly seal the roof. You are left with a $35,000 repair bill that costs more than the unit is worth. Number 2 is the 2021 to 2024 Forest River Cherokee travel trailer. This model represents the worst of volume production quality control. Stapled wiring that punctures water lines, crooked cabinets that fall off the walls after 6 months, slide-out mechanisms that bind and fail, water tanks held in place with zip ties instead of metal straps. The Cherokee has the highest rate of lemon law filings in the travel trailer category, with over 2,000 documented cases in California alone between 2022 and 2024. Wholesale auction prices dropped 55% in the last 18 months. A 2022 Cherokee that sold at auction for $22,000 in January 2024 is selling for $9,000 in January 2026. Even with perfect maintenance records, the Cherokee brand carries a stigma that translates to automatic 50% depreciation discounts. Number 3 is the 2020 to 2023 Grand Design Momentum fifth wheel toy hauler. Within 2 years of launch, owners started reporting catastrophic frame failures in the 42-foot and 45-foot models. The welds connecting the front cap to the main body are cracking. The sidewalls are separating from the roofline. Owners are finding stress fractures in the aluminum framing visible from inside the cabinets. Grand Design issued a service bulletin in late 2024, acknowledging the frame flex problem, but refused to classify it as a recall. Instead, they offered to install reinforcement brackets at the owner's expense. The reinforcement costs $8,000 to $12,000. A 2021 Momentum that sold for $95,000 new is worth $38,000 today. Number 4 is the 2022 to 2024 Jayco Eagle fifth wheel. The quality decline since Thor Industries acquired Jayco in 2016 is visible in the Eagle line. The most common failure is the laminated sidewall construction, delaminating within 24 months. Jayco switched to a thinner substrate material and a cheaper adhesive, and the result is widespread delamination. Owner groups on social media are documenting hundreds of cases where the walls are bubbling and separating with less than 10,000 miles on the odometer. The warranty coverage is a nightmare. Jayco requires you to return the unit to an authorized service center that might be 300 miles away. The approval process takes 60 to 90 days, and the repair takes another 90 days. The class action lawsuit filed in 2024 destroyed resale values. The Eagle dropped 50% between 2023 and 2026. Number 5 is the 2020 to 2022 Winnebago Mini Travel Trailer. Winnebago cheapened the Mini construction during the pandemic, and the cost-cutting is destroying resale values. The cabinets are particle board wrapped in vinyl laminate. Within 18 months, the particle board swells from humidity and the vinyl peels off. Once the particle board swells, the only fix is complete cabinet replacement at $15,000 to $20,000. The Mini also suffers from chronic water leaks around the front window. The window is sealed with silicone caulk instead of proper butyl tape. The caulk fails within 2 years, and water gets into the front wall. By the time you notice the leak, the wall framing is rotting. Winnebago denies warranty claims by arguing the owner should have inspected and resealed the window annually, but nowhere in the owner's manual does it specify this as required maintenance. Number 6 is the 2021 to 2024 Heartland Sundance fifth wheel. The Sundance suffers from a mechanical failure that makes it unsellable. The slide-out mechanisms use plastic gears instead of metal gears. Under normal use, those plastic gears strip and fail within 3 years. When the gear strips, the slide-out will not retract, which means you cannot tow the unit. The replacement mechanism costs $2,500 per slide, and most Sundance models have 3 or 4 slides. Heartland refuses to cover slide-out gear failures under warranty unless the unit is under 1 year old. Owners are stuck paying thousands in repairs just to make the unit towable. Without documentation proving all slide mechanisms have been replaced with upgraded metal gears, the unit is worth 60% less than comparable models. Number 7 is the 2020 to 2023 Coachmen Catalina Travel Trailer. This model has a hidden defect that appears in year 3. The frame uses untreated steel instead of galvanized steel in the crossmembers. When salt and moisture reach the frame through normal road use, the untreated steel rusts from the inside out. By year 3, the crossmembers cannot support the weight of the tanks and appliances. Owners are reporting sagging floors, cracked walls, and tanks falling off the frame during transport. The rust problem is not covered under warranty because Coachmen argues it is environmental damage, not a manufacturing defect. But the defect is using untreated steel in the first place. Properly built trailers use galvanized or aluminum frames that resist corrosion. The Catalina is structurally unsound after 3 years and has no resale value. Number 8 is the 2022 to 2024 Dutchman Voltage Toy Hauler. This model was rushed to market with incomplete engineering. The Voltage uses a hydraulic leveling system that fails at an alarming rate. The hydraulic lines are routed through sharp metal brackets without proper protection. The lines chafe and rupture, which dumps hydraulic fluid and leaves the unit stuck in a partially extended position. The repair requires replacing the entire leveling system at $4,000 to $6,000. The leveling system failure is happening to units with less than 10,000 miles. Dutchman issued a service bulletin, but not a recall. Online owner forums are documenting hundreds of failures. Resale prices dropped 45% in 2025 as buyers realized the model is a financial trap. Number 9 is the 2021 to 2023 Palomino Puma travel trailer. The Puma has a fatal flaw in the roof construction. Palomino uses a rubber roof membrane bonded to plywood decking with contact adhesive. In high heat, the adhesive softens and the membrane separates. Water gets between the membrane and the plywood rots. The repair requires removing the air conditioner, vents, and skylight, then replacing the entire roof decking and membrane. The cost is $12,000 to $18,000. Palomino switched to a cheaper adhesive during the supply chain crisis. The warranty covers roof leaks only if you can prove the leak originated from a manufacturing defect. Palomino denies most claims by pointing to any minor seal crack. Buyers avoid the Puma because they know the roof is a time bomb, which has crushed resale values by 55% since 2024. Number 10 is the 2020 to 2022 KZ Sportsman travel trailer. KZ used undersized wiring and inadequate circuit breakers to save cost. Under normal use, the wiring overheats and melts the insulation. Owners are reporting burned outlets, melted breaker panels, and in several cases, electrical fires. KZ issued a recall in 2023 for specific VIN ranges, but the recall only covers units that have already experienced a fire. The electrical recall destroyed the Sportsman resale market. Even units not part of the recall VIN range are being rejected because of brand stigma. Insurance companies are charging higher premiums because of the fire risk. Some insurers refuse to cover them at all. If you own a 2020 to 2022 Sportsman, one, sell it at a 65% loss, pay $5,000 to rewire the entire unit, or wait for an electrical failure and hope insurance covers the damage. The common thread connecting all 10 models is corporate cost-cutting enabled by industry consolidation. When two companies control 80% of the market, quality competition disappears. The manufacturers can cut corners and push defective products because buyers have no alternative. They can deny warranty claims because buyers have no leverage, and they can destroy resale values because they do not care what happens after the initial sale. If you own one of these 10 models, your options are brutal but clear. Sell immediately before the value drops further. Take the loss now while you can find a buyer. Repair the defect at your own expense and document everything to preserve some resale value. Or drive it until it falls apart and write off the investment. The industry will not help you. The dealer will not compensate you. The manufacturer will deny responsibility. The only way to protect yourself is to never buy these disaster models in the first place.